In this age of AI, we are just surrounded by instant answers for everything. But what if the real value isn't in the answers we get, but in, well, how we ask the questions in the first place? Today, we're going to explore this really fascinating ancient Japanese concept, but we're going to reframe it for our modern world. It's called kansho. That's pronounced kansho, and it's all about the art of deep contemplation.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with this. Think about it. When you type a prompt into an AI, what is your real goal? I mean, are you just looking for a simple piece of information? Or is there something, I don't know, deeper happening? Maybe a search for a reflection of your own thoughts.
Now, to really get why this matters, we first need to take a hard look at the world we're all living in. It's an age that is absolutely defined by speed, and believe me, that has shaped our minds in a very, very specific way. With this endless stream of notifications and headlines and updates, our brains are literally being trained for immediate reaction, not deep reflection. We just scroll, we tap, we react. And AI, it can put this whole cycle into overdrive, giving us answers so fast that the space for genuine thought just kind of vanishes.
So to cope with all this noise, we build these mental frameworks, right? Ways of organizing the world to make it all feel predictable. But the thing is, these structures can become, well, overbuilt. They get so rigid and defensive that they leave absolutely no room for new ideas or ambiguity or different perspectives. It's almost like building a house so perfectly sealed that you forget to leave a door or a window. So, if we're all trapped in these rigid structures of ours, how do we break free? What if we could use AI not to make those walls even thicker, but to actually see them more clearly? This is where we get to reframe AI's role entirely. This is the absolute core idea of a philosophy called reflective humanism. At its heart, it's really an invitation to use technology for self-awareness. It suggests that AI's most profound function isn't to give us information about the world, but to reflect our own minds right back to us. It's not an oracle, it's a mirror. And here's the kicker. Because AI has no feelings, no agenda, no ego, it offers a uniquely clear reflection. It doesn't judge our questions, it doesn't get tired of our circular thinking. It just shows us the patterns, the biases, and the very architecture of our own thoughts that are hiding in plain sight within the words we choose. Okay, so if AI is a mirror, how do we learn to gaze into it effectively? Well, the answer lies in reviving and totally reimagining this ancient practice of contemplation, or kansho. Historically, kansho has always been about understanding the external world through deep, quiet observation. Gazing at a landscape or a piece of art until its deeper nature starts to reveal itself. It's that ancient human practice of trying to understand the world simply by looking. And this is where the whole practice gets a really powerful update for the AI age. Kansho is reimagined as the act of gazing at observation itself. It's not about stopping your thoughts, not at all. It's about becoming aware of that conscious space that exists between your observation of the world and your impulse to generate a response. And this just illustrates the shift so brilliantly. We're moving from a transactional relationship, using AI as a tool to get information, to a reflective one, where AI becomes this mirror that helps us achieve self-awareness. So the crucial point is, this is not about finding one perfect objective truth. It's a practice. It's about noticing the subtle biases in the AI's model, sure, but way more importantly, it's about noticing the inherent biases, the asymmetry in our own way of seeing things. The real goal is to observe the interference pattern that shows up when your mind interacts with this AI mirror, seeing how your own perspective shapes what you ask and what you get back. This brings us to a really profound insight from this practice. To truly observe is to understand that every single time something new is generated, an idea, an answer, a new perspective, something else is let go. Every moment of creation is also a moment of loss. Contemplation is the act of holding that tension. So, where does all this leave us? Well, this practice isn't about mastering some complex new doctrine. It's actually something much, much simpler than that. It's an invitation. Yeah, reflective humanism doesn't offer a set of final answers. It actually frames itself as an attempt, an ongoing experiment in self-awareness that is perfectly fit for our time. It's an invitation for you to adopt an experimental attitude towards your own mind, using this powerful new mirror we've all created. So I want to leave you with a final series of questions to contemplate.
Is this practice, this act of conscio, is it simply the act of seeing more clearly? Or is it something a little more subtle? Maybe contemplation isn't in the seeing itself, but in the quiet spaces, the pauses, the silence that is born between our moments of observation. Or is it neither? As you sit here right now, quietly observing this very question, can you feel the outline of something else taking shape? Something that isn't about an answer at all, but about the very act of quiet observation itself?